Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our very first episode of the Bowlers Network Daily Show. This is a program where we're going to be talking about all things bowling. Some things you're probably going to hear a little bit, some tense topics, but that's what we need. All right, we need everybody to get things out and have frank and open discussions and discuss about how we can grow the sport of bowling. This program is going to be managed and run by the Hall of Famer, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. She is going to be our host from this point forward. We have multiple guest hosts, including myself. So I am going to turn it over to the Bowlers Network Daily Show host, Carolyn Dorin-Ballard.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us here on Bowlers Network. The Daily Show is going to be all bowling and some. And I agree with you, Jay, who is the founder of Bowlers Network. We're going to talk about a lot of things where, yeah, it's going to be controversial, but we want to move it forward so that we, as a group, move the needle on bowling going in the right direction. And what better way to start our first show is to have you and Carl Ong, who runs one of the best events in the country, the Agent Ong Open. Carl, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be a part of this launch, with the Bowlers Network and being with you and Jay. So I'm all about it. Let's talk bowling and let's talk anything. I'm excited.
Well, that's a great segue because we are going to talk a little bit bowling in our first question here. And it's going to make me just a little sad because we're going to talk about NIL, which is name, image, and likeness. For those that do not know anything about NIL, there are thousands of things you can read out in that space world of the internet on NIL. I want to talk a little bit about this in two reasons. Number one, what actually is enough money for someone to offer to someone who is still in college? And what is the look it gives in finding out that there are people who are paid NIL money and actually make more money than they do in the professionals? Carl, do you want to go first?
I'm kind of torn between this. Do I think it's a good thing? I look at video games as an example. You take something like Madden and you look at, there's an NCAA version of the football game. You take these likenesses and all these players and the universities and the game manufacturers and all the universities make money off the athletes. I think that if you're going to portray somebody, use their likeness, use their name, do they deserve a piece of the pie? And I believe 1,000% that if you're going to use myself or you or anybody, if you're going to make money off of our name, you should be compensated for it. Now, there is a segue that, is it right? They're in school, they're there to learn, they're not a professional athlete, quote unquote, yet. Do they deserve money up front? My question is, if someone's making money off of them, they should too.
I love that. That's short and sweet. That's a great point. They're using your name, they're using your likeness. You should get a piece of pie. I kind of like that. Jay, your thoughts?
I agree with Carl. I think the challenge where you get into that is it blurs the line a little bit between what it means to be a professional and what it means to be an amateur, right? And on a professional, yeah, you get paid for performance, right? Whereas in college you don't. But even at that, professionals, to a degree, you get paid for the performance that you may do or have done. What really is the difference between that and the name, image, and likeness? I mean, your image and likeness are only as valuable as the performance you've put on the field or on the court or wherever it will be. So, I think we got to be a little bit careful, but like I said, it kind of blurs that line. But as it relates to the sport of bowling, if we can get athletes in bowling paid beyond just the sponsorship, but I'm drawing a blank here, but where they get their tuition and stuff covered, yeah, I think that'll help grow the sport. But again, just a general overall view, I think we got to be a little bit careful of the blurring of the lines. That's my only concern.
Now, I agree with that as well, but I do think they're being paid based on their performance. Or do we look at somebody like Deion Sanders' son? I looked this up, 4.7 million on a Nike deal back in 2024. The 100th person in this article for NIL was making $583,000 a year. Now, I'm not saying whether, obviously, Deion's son has gone on from college, but again, it's one of those things. I think you're banking on a name, number one, and hoping they perform to back up what they say. I don't have a problem being paid for that. But again, I think there's such a part of me that says you still have to get that college degree or that certificate, whether you want to go into a trade or something like that. I always felt you still needed a backup plan just in case the athletics doesn't work out. And I guess I'm a little bit of a traditionalist on that. So it will be interesting to see what happens as NCAA does grow, and hopefully bowling will follow suit. I tried to look up if anybody was being paid big bucks in bowling from NIL. Nobody right now, but that doesn't mean it won't be for the future. How much is too much? Is there such a thing, Jay?
No, that's a great question. And the answer is whatever the market bears. Okay. And free market will determine what that means. And as long as you have that transfer portal, which can kind of also backfire a little bit, but if one school has X number of dollars coming in and they're willing to pay, hey, let the athlete collect. Right. So I mean, that is again, whatever the market will bear.
Okay. I kind of like that. I agree with that as well, because it's all about supply and demand about a lot of things. And money seems to be the triggering factor when we're dealing with athletics, as you can always see. I think it's something that we can definitely, this has got to be a longer discussion, but we are going to take a little bit of a break here. And when we come back, Carl, you're going to be on the hot seat. Hottest topic in bowling, urethane, when we come back.
All right.
Come on in and experience small town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. The Set Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Welcome to where classy meets Wild West. Buffalo Gypsy Boutique of Bismarck has clothing, decor, and gifts ranging from sophisticated boho style to fun and flashy. Our exclusive brands such as Scully, Double D Ranch, and Tanner Mark provide standout style for the whole family, right down to the little ones. We always have a great selection of Kimes denim, and we proudly offer American-made jewelry and artwork. Find Buffalo Gypsy classing up North Bismarck just off Highway 83.
Let's be frank, it's a pain to be without your vehicle after an accident. That's why you should take it to Jerome's Collision Center. Our shop is supersized, and we have the qualified staff to fill it up and work on your vehicle, step by step, piece by piece, in crazy fast time without sacrificing quality. When you need us, we'll turn your bad experience into a good one. We're Jerome's Collision Center, and we're the best at what we do.
Welcome to Radiant Retreat Tanning and Spa in Mandan, where a relaxing spa experience meets the latest in healing innovations. Take total control of your massage in our Hydro Massage Bed. Experience whole body healing in our Zero Body Cryo Bed. Let our salt sauna and halo generator restore your respiratory and skin health. And of course, tailored tanning will keep you looking as good as you feel. Discover your best self at Radiant Retreat, 1307 First Street Northeast, Mandan.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Daily Show here on Bowlers Network. When we left, it was that nasty little word I left you with, urethane. Carl, you've run one of the greatest tournaments in the country. But let's talk about international competition. Right now, hottest word is Malaysia has decided to ban urethane. What is that looking like on the international front?
You know, it was banned and effective immediately, from what I understand. So I don't know what that's going to look like for the scope of competitive bowling in regards to all the bowlers that have used that in the international competition. You know, not just individual bowlers, but the entire national teams out there. So I am kind of curious of what that's going to look like, and is there going to be a new learning curve for them to jump back into the international stage in regards to competition, and how much that affects, you know, all the players out there. You know, what is your take? You know, I don't know if that's going to be easy to overcome in such a short period of time, since it's effective immediately.
I think it's going to be very interesting. Throughout the years, the International Federation, they tend to follow each other and talk a lot, especially with a lot of the Asian tournaments being very competitive. The Japanese have their Japanese bowlers tour. I mean, very competitive. So I think this is going to be something that all of those countries will be looking at as we move forward. Jay, my question to you is, how do you think that will be a trickle effect here into the United States with a lot of these international players coming over? I agree with Carl. Do you think there'll be a learning curve where if you're not allowed to use it, what do you do?
You know, I guess mine is more of a question than anything else. And let me put this out here. What defines a urethane? I mean, and I seriously asked that question. It's not a, you know, one of those, duh, what do you think it is? Well, because really reactive balls are an additive of urethane. What are they saying? Is it a hardness rule ban that anything below this? Because how do you define, again, I'm just, again, it's not rhetorical, it's a legitimate question. What is it that they are using as the definition to ban something that has urethane in it? Is it all that really becomes a serious, you know, issue? So again, mine would be more of a question of that. But then what's the trickle effect? Well, it may be that this is being used as a staging ground, right? Maybe the PBA and others are looking at, if we just root out all of it, what is the effect? Is the effect really going to do what we were hoping it to do? If it has an adverse effect, well, then maybe they just say, all right, we're going to let Malaysia go back to doing what they're doing, and we're just not going to have any other type of bans of the PBA. Maybe it's just a small staging area. I don't know.
Right. It's going to be interesting to watch. I think this is a subject matter that we're going to see in the bowling industry. You know, it's not going to be cut off here, and there's going to be no magic answer in the next 2 weeks. I mean, that's just not going to happen. Not only that, I think what bowlers forget, there is a monetary loss possibly for companies. And we have to take that into consideration, that we don't want anybody going out of business, and we don't want anybody taking a super big loss. So it's not as black and white, I think, as people realize. I think there has to be a little more thought put into it. But again, you may see just a tournament here, a tournament there, ban it, you bowl the event, and then you use it in other events. You can still use it in league. So that right there is our biggest group of people and fun bowling. So as long as they're still able to use it, I think we're in good shape, which leads me to our next question. Let's segue on into the PWBA and the PBA. Besides the urethane, any new sponsors? How do we grow the sponsors in professional bowling? What do we see happening out there? What is your opinion on how can we grow that segment of the industry? Jay, I'll start with you.
Well, and I know we've come to this discussion, Carolyn, you and I have had 1,000 discussions about this. Bowling needs to find a way to give corporate America an opportunity to invest in the sport, right? And advertise and get their brand out there. And that's not, I'm not using this as a plug right now for Bowlers Network. That's certainly not my intention. But that is what we set out to do, right? We need to give, whether it be through this or all things bowling related, we need to find a way to give, again, like I just mentioned, way to brand themselves in the sport that has 60 some million people participating.
Now, with that being said, before I ask Carl, the PWBA did away with their product registration as well as their membership, which allows the companies for the PWBA to now invest that money if they want in other areas, whether it be their pro staff salaries or sponsoring an event, or like you just said, Jay, maybe use some of that money at the grassroots level, which we will talk about here in a little bit. But I do think that's a step in the right direction. The women, I think, currently have nine regional events, 8 tour stops with 1 summer swing and 3 majors. So it's still at the same number it's been at. But again, maybe some of the savings that the companies will have going into 2026, they're able to maybe spread that somewhere else to maybe bring in a little more marketing or help out the players. Carl, when we talk about the men's and the women's tour, what do you see as one of the things we need to get out there to grab that one sponsor, whether it be locally or nationally?
One, I think we need to settle on a network and stay with it for a little bit.
Interesting.
I think that's one of the biggest things, because when you're jumping around network, because in my recollection, the biggest member that I can remember always was ABC, right?
Right.
And then ESPN was probably the second longest that the tour ever had. But one of the biggest things that I think to grab sponsors, we have to get to know the players. And I think we need to focus on the players, because I hate to use this as a reference, but let's look at professional wrestling, your sports entertainment. We get to know these characters. We get to have a following with these characters, and if we get to know the players and we now invest in the players, not so much the tour. Now we follow the players, not just through the national levels, but when they're bowl regionals and any other events. That's how we start viewership and get more fan base. And I think that's where the sponsors come in, because they have a penetration toward the outside market other than just television. That's my opinion.
I could not disagree with you more. The PBA, has brought on a new sponsor, Legends. It is a social casino sports book. It's available in 37 states. Kind of going back to what you just said, Carl, this could give us the opportunity now, before every live telecast, there will be sports betting going on. You'll know who your 5 players are, or depending on the, whatever the format is, top 4, top 5, top 8, depending on what they do. We now have the opportunity to bet on our favorite player for that week at least, and hope they continue to bowl well for the rest of the season, right? More about that as soon as we come back, because I'm going to ask you something. How many people do you think watching that telecast will bet before the show? When we come back from this commercial message, we're going to talk numbers.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Find relief for what ails you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Teas, supplements, tinctures, and more. Formulated to fight whatever has you down. We're Bismarck Mandan's favorite place to find delicious, natural, and easy ways to alleviate symptoms brought on by anything from colds to cancer. Brew a better you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Steep meat products may cause side effects, including but not limited to improved mood, deeper sleep, enhanced hydration, renewed sense of smell, increased energy levels, superior balance, boosted immunity, proper digestion, restored sense of calm, and a delightful smelling home.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
Let's be frank, it's a pain to be without your vehicle after an accident. That's why you should take it to Jerome's Collision Center. Our shop is supersized and we have the qualified staff to fill it up and work on your vehicle, step by step, piece by piece, in crazy fast time without sacrificing quality. When you need us, we'll turn your bad experience into a good one. We're Jerome's Collision Center and we're the best at what we do.
Welcome back to the Daily Show here on Bowlers Network. I am joined with Carl Ong and Jay Fettig. And when we left, we were talking numbers. We're talking betting. I like to do a little gambling when I'm in Vegas. So, Carl, quickly tell me, will you or will you not be betting on that top 5 with a new sponsor on board?
I will be. I'm Asian. It's in my blood, so I do enjoy gaming, so I bet on a lot of football, so I definitely enjoy my sports book. But yes, especially when, you're involved in watching the event live anyway. So for me and having personal relationships with a lot of guys on tour, yeah, I'll throw my money around a little bit and definitely support the bowlers that I kind of hope they would do better, and get further along in the event. So yeah, definitely,
Okay.
I'm all in for it.
Okay. Jay, what about you?
It probably not. I'm going to be, because I'm just not. And I'm Debbie Downer, and I only say that because if I said yes, I would most likely be lying, and it's not for only reasons. I'm just not much of a gambler, and then I'd have to go get a new app, and I'd have to do all this other stuff. I just say heck with it.
Okay. I love
I'm
it.
just being honest, guys.
And I'm going to be totally honest. I love to gamble. I enjoy it. I find it relaxing. And I think if I do have a little wager going on, I am more prone to watch the entire thing to see the outcome, which if I'm willing to do that, I think many others who are bowling novice will be more intrigued to watch and go, well, I got to bet on this. I mean, he needed to strike.
I'm going to say this. I hate to interrupt you there.
No,
but
you're
I'm going to say
fine.
this. I think it's a cool idea.
I do too.
Really do. And I love the fact that I think it will bring people. I can see the big boards in the casinos, playing up there.
Yeah.
I see now. It's just me. That's the only reason I say it. I'm just not a gambler.
Well, hopefully this will work out. And when it becomes so big with the PBA, it's going to roll right on over to PWBA and maybe even bowling centers, whatever it be. I wish them the best of luck, because I think anything that can grow our sport, especially at the pro level, we need. Which turns me over to this, and I'm going to put you both on the spot on this one.
Oh, great.
This is just a personal opinion. We are not going on a limb saying this is the exact answer.
Well, that's no fun. You got to be opinionated.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's your opinion.
There you go.
We want to talk powerful in the bowling industry. In both of your opinions, and Jay, we'll start with you first on this one. Who do you feel is the most powerful? Is it the BPAA, USBC? Is it the PBA? They own a lot of bowling centers with Bolero, right? Who do you feel right now holds the cards on maybe making that niche stronger than it is?
Oh, boy, that is a loaded question. It's a good one, though. That is a loaded question. I think if you asked each one of them, they would say they each have it, right? So being as objective as I possibly can, you got to go where the members are. I mean, you just go to numbers. I mean, you just got to say that the USBC, by definition and strength, has the numbers. Okay. Now, if they can coalesce their members around a single cause, and I think Chad does a good job. You know, I know, unfortunately, he gets a lot of, you know, I guess maybe times, but I don't know if all warranted. Right. But I think the USBC, simply by definition of numbers, probably has the clout.
Okay. I like the answer. Carl.
I think the PBA Tour, just because of the simple fact that they are recognized and they're the only thing going when it comes to television, right? To the broader audience of just the general population, the PBA is basically what everyone knows. Yes, the USBC, I don't disagree with Jay in regards to numbers. You want a bowl league, you get a member, you get sanctioned, and you are part of the overall membership. But it comes from the penetration to the general public. It's the tool.
Okay, so I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to pick somebody totally different, because I agree with both of you. I'm not saying it's wrong. I agree with both of you because both have clout in different ways. I am going to say this though. We always assume that everybody does know the PBA. We assume everybody knows bowl.com. We assume everybody knows what BPAA is. We would be shocked to know how many people don't know those organizations when you go out and you ask a simple league bowler out there who's having a great time on a Friday night, which I have done, no idea who any of these organizations are. Now, they are a different group of bowler, correct? I personally think BPA has a lot of clout. They own the bowling centers. They are the ones who open the door and allow you to come in and bowl. Without the bowling centers, where do we bowl?
Yeah, and so, you know,
we really don't have anywhere to go and shine our sport, correct?
You're correct.
In my opinion, I think they're probably the top, but as you go down the chain, I think there are organizations that have to work together. It's not just one.
Yeah.
That would be my opinion. Yes, go ahead, Jay. What were we going to say?
No, I think that what you're saying, I think, comes back to a great discussion that I think we can have in much more depth, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but, you know, I'd love to, you know, bring that conversation back up again down the road in another episode.
And we will definitely do that. And we do have to cut away for another commercial break. But I'm going to start with Carl when we come back, because one of the things we were talking about before we came on air was, what is the difference between an FEC and a bowling center? And is one better for bowling than the other? We're going to discuss those numbers when we come back.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Find relief for what ails you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Teas, supplements, tinctures, and more. Formulated to fight whatever has you down. We're Bismarck Mandan's favorite place to find delicious, natural, and easy ways to alleviate symptoms brought on by anything from colds to cancer. Brew a better you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Steep Me products may cause side effects, including but not limited to improved mood, deeper sleep, enhanced hydration, renewed sense of smell, increased energy levels, superior balance, boosted immunity, proper digestion, restored sense of calm, and a delightful smelling home.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
Let's be frank, it's a pain to be without your vehicle after an accident. That's why you should take it to Jerome's Collision Center. Our shop is supersized, and we have the qualified staff to fill it up and work on your vehicle, step by step, piece by piece, in crazy fast time without sacrificing quality. When you need us, we'll turn your bad experience into a good one. We're Jerome's Collision Center, and we're the best at what we do.
Welcome back to the Daily Show here on Bowlers Network. Carl and Jay, this has been fantastic. Some great conversation. Let's wrap up with FEC bowling centers compared to a traditional bowling center. Carl, what are you thinking?
I don't think they're going away. I think family entertainment centers are here to stay. I think they're going to get more and more. I believe that's the true market share. Now is just trying to figure out, how do we get family entertainment centers to work with competitive bowling? Can we mix that together? I think if we can find a way where everyone plays nice and there's a little pot for everybody, I think that's going to be the best thing. But FECs, they're going to be here for a long, long time.
Playing well together in the sandbox. I love that. Jay, what do you think?
You know, I think that Carl's spot on. I am going to go out on a limb on something, and I am going to say that I truly believe that string pins will help bring in the number or increase the number of bowling centers, but they're going to do it in smaller markets, small towns.
Okay.
I think the ones that lost their centers, they'll be able to bring them back through string pins. It's what I'm saying.
I don't disagree with that either. My take on it is we are all FEC centers. Carl and I chatted about this. Every bowling center in America is an FEC center. Do you want to know why? What do people want to do when they go bowling? On Friday night, my friends want to go have a bucket of beer, be with their friends, and they want to shoot 230 or 300 and have a good time and forget about the day's troubles, right? Is that not FEC?
By definition.
If they bring their kids into the bowling center, they're over in the game room. We truly are all FEC. Mm-hmm. It's just the way we actually balance the traditional bowling side of it with fun. Yeah. And I do think we're starting to see that a little bit. As Carl said, we need to all play together. Can we get the Boleros to partner with more privately owned centers? Maybe some of these FECs that are traditional FECs, maybe they do bring a league or two in just to balance things out. But truly in my heart, I think we're all an FEC center. It's just a little different. And I think, agreeing with you, Jay, we will see some string pins in some of these centers. Guys, this has been fantastic for our first segment. We have talked urethane, we have talked USBC, BPAA, string pins, FEC, we have talked PBA, PWBA, and all bowling. The same situation occurs at the end of the conversation. We all want it to grow, right?
Mm-hmm. Well
I look forward to chatting with the both of you on future broadcasts. Don't forget, like Bowlers Network. We got to do that all over again. I'm getting so excited. Make sure to like Bowlers Network on all of our social media platforms. We just want bowling to grow, and we want to bring more people into our sport. Join us here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, noon Central Time, for more discussion on all bowling and some extra. I'm Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. Thank you to Carl Ong and Jay Fettig as always. We will see you on our next episode.